Welcome to this episode of The Wolf and the Shepherd, and welcome to 2021. We are officially out of the mess of 2020, and here's hoping that 2021 is going to be better than 2020. And let's be honest, 2020 didn't really set the bar all that high, so we should be able to have a better year in 2021 than we did in 2020. But, you know, we decided that we're doomed if we don't review history, right? We got to look at history, and history might repeat itself. So we decided we'd take a look back at what all happened in 2020, and not a rehash of COVID and murder hornets and all of that good stuff, but just kind of where the podcast brought us from that little bit of 2020 when we started, and kind of work through some of the topics and everything that we discussed.
Yeah, actually, the blown out of proportion murder hornets was one of my big letdowns of 2020.
Me too.
I was hoping to see a few more of those around, killing birds in mid-flight.
Well, but not only that, they had such a great name. I mean, murder hornet.
Yeah.
It wasn't some, killer bee. Remember that killer bee scare that we had a long time ago?
Yeah.
Murder hornet just sounds so much more dangerous than killer bee.
Yeah, not since the stab you in the face monkeys as such an animal came with so much anticipation and being such a letdown.
Maybe the mantis shrimp.
Yeah. Now, obviously, 2020 was a bag of horse crap, but we don't want to dwell on all the negative stuff from 2020.
No, we don't have that kind of time.
So we're just going to focus on the positive. I got a new phone and we started a podcast.
So that's pretty much it.
Yeah. And the podcast somehow ninja sneaked its way into the top 1% of listened to podcast shows out of 1.8 million plus podcasts in the world. I don't know quite how it got there.
That was a big surprise for us. We didn't quite know how that happened. We still don't, but we decided we're just going to keep doing things the way we've been doing things. Yeah. So here we go.
Apparently, we've got a big deaf following.
Oh, well, that makes sense. Oh, maybe that explains it.
Yeah.
Now it all makes sense.
Yeah, they can slightly hear some white noise, which is kind of like tinnitus or something.
Yeah, there we go. That would explain quite a bit.
So looking back, we're not really going to look back at anything other than what we did in the podcast, because I think that's probably the only important stuff which happened last year.
Yeah, I don't think anything else like major happened in 2020 other than the things we talked about.
Not that we didn't cover anyway. And actually,
exactly,
if you were a time traveler and you kind of ended up January 1st, 2021 here, actually listening to our podcast would absolutely give you a complete rundown of the year.
That's true.
With no need to experience any of it.
Yeah. As we normally do, and we give you all the information that you need, no further research necessary. So, here we go.
Right. Well, we started off the podcast with an absolutely terrible pilot where we had no idea what we were going to talk about, but you figured you'd hit the record button and test out the equipment, the headphones and the microphones, which after 3 weeks we discovered were the wrong way around. But thankfully they were good enough microphones for it not to make that much difference. I don't think.
Well, it did make a difference when we figured out we had them backwards, but nothing but the highest level of professionalism here at this podcast.
You'd have thought those stickers saying front and back on them would have given the game away.
Well, but why would we bother to read instructions with anything?
I was looking at your microphone, and obviously the word front was facing me, and vice versa. So it's like,
but yours was facing me too. So I thought we had it right.
Yeah. So the first few episodes after the pilot, we basically talked about nonsense. We gave them some titles in the hope to kind of stick to topic, which didn't work very well.
Yeah. Well, if we can look back on those first few episodes, at least we learned no matter what topic we pick, we're never going to stick with it. But at least we have a general idea of what we're going to talk about.
Yeah, we did so little actual research. I don't think Google even got a single name check in about those first 2 or 3.
Probably not.
Podcasts. But once we kind of settled down a little bit, we started actually having a plan of what we were going to talk about in terms of at least the title. Although 9 times out of 10, I had to explain to you from the title what exactly we were going to be talking about.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and most of the time you just slid a piece of paper in front of me and said, here's the title of the podcast. This is what we're going to do right now. So
yeah. And
kind of like today.
all right.
Let's be obvious.
Yeah. We got a few musical podcasts off our chest over the 3 months, which, you know, is one of our great loves.
Yeah.
We attempted to sing quite often, which apparently, according to some of the emails we got from our listeners, were very popular with Cats in Heat.
Well, at least we made something happy with the singing, because it doesn't make me happy.
Well, plus I think we've basically ruined any future opportunities of Rolling Stone to be invited, you know, to discuss anything to do with music.
Probably.
There's that.
Yes.
That's another big name we can cross off the list, not to expect an email or a phone call from unless it's a defamation suit or something.
Yeah, that list, by the way, keeps getting longer and longer.
It does. Still, there's plenty more multi-million dollar companies where they come from.
True.
Before long, we did actually manage to crack on a few things from a great height, which isn't saying much given our studio's kind of like ground floor only.
Yeah.
Gyms. We kind of had a bit of a go at gyms, mainly because people going to the gyms for the wrong reason, not gyms and people who go there to seriously work out, just the people who go there to just kind of pose and take selfies.
That gym culture. Yeah. Not our bag.
Yeah. Karen's got a look in.
Oh, yeah. They deserve it.
We bashed them pretty well. And amazingly, we didn't actually get any hate mail from Karen's suit.
I'm pretty sure they looked at the title and just protested in silence of not listening.
That's very un-Karen-like.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's true.
Well, plus they knew.
Maybe they went to the spam filter.
Well, maybe we'd have.
I think I did set something in the spam filter that any email address that had the name Karen in it would just immediately go to spam.
Right.
So maybe I need to go look in the spam filter after we do this, but I'm sure I'm going to forget about that by the time we're done.
It's a bit sad because I was looking forward to reading out some complaints from Karen's.
Well, maybe we'll just have to do an episode on the complaints that we've received. But I'm sure they're all in the spam folder.
Yeah, probably.
Which means I'm going to have to go in and look in the spam folder.
And delete button.
Yeah, well, you know that's not going to happen, so.
We didn't have too many positive things to say about evolution because we considered that overall to be a letdown.
Yep.
Mainly because we don't like certain.
But we do like the mantis shrimp.
We do like the mantis shrimp.
Oh, we love the mantis shrimp.
That was our big discovery last year.
If 2020 had a positive theme for me, it was the discovery of the mantis shrimp.
Which can heat up the water higher than the temperature of the sun, allegedly.
I love that.
I'm pretty sure. We still haven't double fact-checked, have we? Well, even single fact-check.
Well, but I don't want to. I don't want to be let down.
It should join the Avengers at this point.
No, please don't fact-check that. I want to go on living believing that mantis shrimp is the greatest animal to ever swim the earth.
And we discovered you don't like cats and I don't like chimpanzees.
Yep.
Cats are bad enough that, they just, well, I mean, the fact that you have cats as well,
I know that's kind of misleading, but I tolerate them. I'm definitely not happy that they're here.
Yeah, and I'm definitely no advocate for animal cruelty, but the urge not to punch a chimpanzee in the face would be one of my big struggles.
No, and I don't believe we ever advocated cruelty towards cats, but I would be much happier if I didn't have any around.
Some bad language towards cats.
I'd rather have the dodo bird back, even though I know nothing about the dodo bird. Bring it back from extinction and then just make cats extinct. So that's not cruelty to animals.
Right. Oh yeah, also evolution, the fact that humans have not really started growing forearms to help out a little bit. We're kind of annoyed with evolution over that.
Yeah. Well, at least for most people, they need a third arm just to hold their smartphone while they do other things.
Yeah.
Because they've lost the ability to use one limb because they always have a phone in their hand.
Yeah. So that was kind of the seriousness we got into pretty early on. And for anybody under the misconception that we were going to buckle down and start discussing some serious topics, we quickly peed on that fire. What did we discuss? We discussed midgets, ducks, witches, gingers, and killer robots.
Yes.
So
all serious topics.
Yeah, all serious topics.
Well, we delve into the topics that serious journalists don't want to touch because they're so controversial.
Scared to touch those topics.
Yeah, they don't want to get canceled. So we look into those topics for them because we're not afraid of getting canceled.
Yeah, because we're self-funded. So.
Yes, exactly. For this high quality, high rent.
I know that comes as a shock to many of our listeners, but
exactly.
We're mostly self-funded. But
and now a message from our sponsors. Hey, it's us. No, that's not true. We do have a couple of sponsors. Yeah. I'm sure we're probably going to get into that here in a little bit.
Right. We also dismissed any suggestion. Better research might be the way to go.
No. We actually, a little known fact, because we didn't obviously broadcast it, we actually spent a lot of time and researched the topic, started recording it, and about halfway through we just shut down and said, no, this sucks. We don't like doing this, and we wadded the papers up and threw them away.
Yeah, because with our ever-growing audience, we figured it's not our responsibility to educate them.
No, we can barely educate ourselves.
Yeah, I mean, once we made that commitment to not scroll past page 1 on Google, and even then not necessarily click on any of the links, I think then we hit that kind of a sweet spot.
Yeah, it was a good stride. And then when you increase the text size on your screen and refuse to scroll down, I think that helped out too.
Right, yeah.
I mean, your eyes have been feeling better. Yeah. You haven't been straining as much.
Yeah, so that's how much you can miss off the screen when you change your resolution to 600 by 400.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the way everybody should have the resolution.
In fact, now when I type anything in Google whatsoever, the only thing I get now is ads. Because those first two things in the list are always ads. So it's
well, we got to keep the Google machine running. I mean, we could single or double-handedly keep Google running just by saying whatever's in their ads.
Well, I mean,
that might work.
When I was doing research on robots, killer robots, the first thing which came up was somebody trying to sell me a killer robot in the Google ads. So, that.
Did you buy it? You didn't tell me.
I didn't have enough money.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I was hoping I'd get some money for Christmas so I could get one on Amazon.
What if we could have gotten sponsored by the killer robot company and they would have given us one? That would have been cool.
Yeah.
Maybe we should have name-checked them a few more times. Yeah. We could have ended up with the killer robot, although it could have ended up killing us and taking over the podcast.
No, I wouldn't have tested it actually in the studio. I would have tested it by next door or something.
Oh, well, I figured you would have sent it here.
No. I wouldn't get it delivered to me.
Yeah, well, yeah, but
what, a porch pirate.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, what if a porch pirate stole the killer robot?
Right, yeah.
How ironic would that be?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, at one point, I remember we did try and depress our listeners a little bit with an episode on how the world would likely end and how miserable and horrible and painful it could be. But then, of course, COVID came along and kind of stole our thunder there.
Yeah, it did. Even though we did do that podcast in the age of COVID, COVID did kind of steal our thunder there.
And we did manage to bribe quite a few guests to appear on the show.
We did. I was kind of surprised.
Yeah.
When we started out,
they agreed.
Yeah, we never thought we'd actually have guests. But if you do remember correctly, we got the podcast started and everything, and we decided to get rolling along. And you said, we've done 4 or 5 episodes. Time for me to take a vacation. And I thought, well, what am I supposed to do? Nobody wants to sit there and just hear me talk. So invited a couple of people to come on, and that started the whole, hey, this whole bringing a guest thing in actually kind of works. So let's do that from time to time.
Well, I think the lure of free publicity combined with free alien ale beer swayed a good 2/3 of them.
That is true. Where our main sponsor, our beer sponsor, Alien Ale Beer, shout out to them. They provided beverages for our guests when they come in and everything, and we've been known from time to time to have 1 or 2 of those as we're doing podcasts, just the 2 of us in here. So a big shout out to them. They made 2020 a little bit nicer.
Yeah. Oh, remarkably, we found out we're not very good at using Zoom.
No, we are terrible at Zoom.
Just can't stay looking into that camera for more than a couple of seconds.
No, I struggle with the sound on Zoom, and I look in the wrong direction, and then I get distracted, and yeah, we're not good with Zoom.
Yeah, one of our friends actually is law enforcement, said that he watched one of our Zoom podcasts, and he said we have the body language of somebody who looks like they're lying to the FBI, just looking down and looking nervous the whole time.
Yeah, that makes sense. That totally makes sense.
But I guess one thing the guests did actually bring to the table was, well, I mean, they've all been like great fun, but they're all very knowledgeable about the topics, which you'd think would be a bad fit for our podcast. But we pulled it off somehow.
Yep. Well, every once in a while, you got to have somebody that comes in that knows stuff past that first page of Google.
Right.
So.
Yeah, and we well, you remember we actually managed to go over an hour talking about our local public library.
We did.
We did.
We learned a lot about public libraries.
We did. Probably too much, actually.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to fathom some of it.
Have you been to the public library since that podcast?
Yeah, I picked up a book.
Did you really?
And dropped one off.
Oh, good
Probably
for you.
the same book.
Okay, well, at least one of us did.
And then, of course, we had the guy who digs holes.
Oh, good old Bill Vaughn.
Yeah, good old Bill who ate some of the food he was supposed to bring us on the drive to the studio.
Yeah.
We won't forget that.
Yeah,
by the way.
He ate some food. He did bring beer. He did bring. Did he?
Yeah, he did. But it wasn't his beer.
That's right.
It was the beer from our sponsor.
Yeah,
he picked it up for us on the way.
Well, yeah, and so he figured his tip was eating our dinner, and that was a little disappointing.
Oh yeah, because he picked up the food from another one of our guests.
Yes,
brought it over, and then we later found out, probably about a month later, that there was supposed to be a starter with it as well. But he ate that in the car
when that guest showed up. And we were talking before the podcast, and he asked us about the other foods we tried, and we gave him that blank look like. We gave Bill Vaughn when we found out the holes he digs are like 2 foot down.
Right.
And once again, first page of Google, we were looking at, really deep holes and had to throw all that research away.
Then, we did, there were certain topics we did actually, I think, discuss in a depth that maybe have never been discussed before, or at least they went off that tangent that has never been visited before. I mean, Indian cinema, I mean, we're now in the top 20 experts on Bollywood in the Western Hemisphere.
Yeah, see, that's another fine example of one you confused me on, because I thought we were going to talk about Hollywood, and I was all raring to go, and then I just misread the title of the little card you pushed in front of me, didn't realize the H was actually a B, and it was Bollywood, and I had no clue what we were even talking about.
Well, I still think it's pretty impressive. That
I do too.
That you can go...
I learned a lot.
Yeah, that you can go from knowing literally nothing to knowing almost literally nothing.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean,
that's an accurate representation.
You knew how to spell it afterwards. Yeah. So, presidential election, that got an entire episode from us, didn't it?
It did, and I'm glad we did it the way we did.
Yeah. Non-partisan, because
non-partisan.
No politicians care about you, to be honest.
Yeah, exactly. Doesn't matter what side of the aisle on it. You're not even allowed in those seats. You got to stay in the aisle. Yeah. So, but I think we did it up.
How are you planning to spend your $600 next stimulus check?
Well,
some beef jerky maybe, or like.
Yeah, I thought about like pizza.
Yeah.
Pizza kind of sounds good, like having a pizza party, because that's kind of what this feels like. It's like we know there's people out there starving and having a hard time, but go have yourself a pizza party. Yeah. The only thing that could have made it better, honestly, would have been like the $600 coming in like a Walmart gift card, and including that would be like a 2-for-1 coupon for McDonald's for McRib or something like that. It's like, hey, we know things are bad, so buy one, get one free McRib, and go spend $600 at Walmart.
Well, no, what would have been even better would have been if they'd have sent you like a $600 gift card for somewhere like Bed Bath and Beyond.
Yeah, well, that's
so you can't actually buy any groceries. You just buy towels and luxury linens.
Either that or like TJ Maxx or Marshalls.
Right.
Go get you some factory defective
handbag.
Yeah, that would stimulate the economy.
Shout out to TJ Maxx if you want to sponsor us. We are available.
Yes, absolutely.
We can always edit that bit out if you contact us within the next 24 hours. So, yeah.
Well, don't make promises like that. We don't know how to edit.
Yeah. We had 2 episodes on how. Now, did we originally just intend to have 1 long episode on Halloween, or was it always meant to be 2?
I think we were going to do 1, and then we realized that maybe we needed to separate it out because we kind of wanted to talk about Halloween 2 different ways.
Yeah.
And we were afraid we were going to confuse each other in knowing that we had this other topic to look at that we just bounce around too much. So we were trying to stay on task.
Yeah.
We were trying to trick ourselves into actually staying in our lane.
Yeah, we did beat that horse to death.
Yes, we did.
I think in 2021 we just need to release those same 2 episodes again for next Halloween. Because
That's a great idea.
I don't think you can improve upon perfection.
Well, not only that, but if you think about it, could we maybe by this time next year we could edit out the references to the year 2020 and 2021. Maybe we'll learn how to edit by then and just insert 2021, 2022.
Yeah.
No, maybe that wouldn't work. I don't know, but you know, we did that with Halloween. We had a couple other episodes. Maybe we just repeat.
Right.
You know, it's kind of like sitcoms, right? You know, they had some episodes, but every once in a while when they went on their little breaks or vacation, they show reruns.
Right.
Maybe we just like rerun episodes and just change the names.
Yeah.
It's not a bad idea.
Trying to squeeze anything else out of Halloween would just be like trying to milk a dead cow at this point. Because
that's true.
Another one of those overly thorough, investigations.
College thesis level material.
Yeah.
Somebody can get a PhD in Halloween.
Maybe an online college.
Yeah. University of Phoenix.
Yeah.
Not that we wouldn't accept them as a sponsor if they want to give us free PhDs.
Yeah.
And I don't know, can you get a podcast PhD? Is that even a thing? Maybe we should start the School of Podcasting at the University of Phoenix and we could be the first 2 PhDs.
Guest lecturers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. Nothing wrong with that.
I'll make a note on that.
Yeah, we'll write that in right under the check the spam filter for the Karen emails.
Right. And the Thanksgiving episode, that was pretty short. That was one of our shorter episodes.
Well, we were kind of phoning that one in, let's be honest. We talked a little bit about the history and everything, but we were trying to be thankful for a year like 2020 and kind of came up short a little bit.
Well, I mean, it's like trying to get people motivated by $1 toilet paper from the dollar store.
True.
And, I think actually the Native Americans had a better few early Thanksgivings than people had this year. So,
yeah, I'm sure they did.
And we did try and dip our toe in the water of science a few times.
We did.
Yeah.
With our extensive science background.
Yeah, I mean,
I think we fully explained a variety of scientific topics. Yeah. I mean, especially important scientific topics.
Right. I mean, ironically, the only one I can remember that well is the one on memory.
I don't remember doing one on memory.
Yeah. Well, I think I gave it a snappy title, so you can't put the 2 together.
That makes sense.
But we did vaccines.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very, very basic on vaccines.
Yes.
I mean,
just hey, they come in a needle and they stick you and they make you feel better or make you not
feel better.
Get sick.
That's what we'll soon find out. Yeah. Time travel and simulation theory. As soon as we got into theoretical science, we were on to a winner because nobody could actually prove us wrong.
That's true.
Yeah.
We found our stride there. We have to talk about topics that nobody can prove either way. That way we can't be wrong.
Well, I mean, thankfully we've discovered that, from the emails from our listeners, that none of them really research or fact check anything either. So we hit those ones out of the ballpark.
Yeah. No, that is true. That does keep us going.
Yeah.
When they say, hey, here's what I think, but I don't know either. So, your guess is as good as mine. That's the kind of feedback we like to hear.
Yeah. I mean, so have you ever, are feeling curious about science and want to hear a mixture of waffle and outlandish claims, then go into our back catalogue and check out those scientific podcasts because we came to the table knowing nothing and left pretty close to knowing nothing.
Pretty close.
Yeah, pretty close to knowing nothing. We did actually talk about a couple of topics we knew something about. We had some pre-knowledge about. We did the Star Wars prequels. We knew about that. Kind of pooed on those quite a bit.
That was so far our record length podcast. Clocking in at just a hair over 2 hours.
Yeah, 2 hours of non-stop complaining.
Yeah, and we probably could have went on longer than that, to be honest. But we actually kind of reined that one in, knowing that eventually we will be talking about the originals and the sequels, and then the expanded movies and everything. We're not going to get into the cartoon stuff or the comic books or anything, because I just don't want to talk about those.
Yeah.
But we'll eventually get into the other movies. But Star Wars is something we didn't have to go to Google for.
Yeah.
I don't think. We did ask Siri. We had to ask Siri about how old George Lucas was.
Right, yeah.
Because we didn't know that.
Yeah.
So there's that.
George Lucas, if you're listening, and the same thing goes for you, Hayden Christensen, I wouldn't bother listening to that podcast on the Star Wars prequels if you're feeling a little bit depressed.
Yes, because, I will second that recommendation.
Yeah, we will put the we should have put the number for the suicide hotline on there, really. Just
in case because everybody on Facebook keeps saying, "Hey, can you please cut and paste this because it's going to keep people from killing themselves." Maybe we should do that in the listen notes on that one. Yeah. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Let's write that down on our list of stuff we should do and won't do.
Well, somebody wrote a comment on our YouTube version of that podcast saying that they hope George Lucas didn't listen if he was feeling a little bit depressed. So,
there you go.
Yeah. Now,
hey, by the way, one thing we did leave out is that we started the podcast with no intention of actually putting them on YouTube, and then decided we'd go ahead and include them on YouTube too. So we do have a couple of video podcasts that we did and kept the video on Zoom.
Yeah.
And we started out saying, hey, we're just going to do it with microphones, no cameras, no nothing like that. And then when we did the Zoom thing, we're like, well, hey, now we got a video. Let's, what if we took all of the audio ones and put those on YouTube too? So we ventured into the YouTube realm as well.
Yeah, I mean, we decided to entertain the visually impaired as well as the partially deaf.
Yes.
Part of our audience.
Yes, and the transcriptions on YouTube were highly accurate.
Yeah, it's done by a robot. Yeah. And not one of the smart ones we talked about in one of our podcasts. This robot's kind of like an early version of Dragon's Naturally Speaking, that program we used to use like in the 80s and 90s, and it was like worst thing ever.
Yep. If you bought a certain version of it, it came with a headset.
Yeah.
That you could plug into your computer for better accuracy. It didn't work.
It took like about 4 attempts to get it to understand hello, so you just ended up saying hi, and then it read that out as H-I-G-H.
Looking back on that, though, I mean, it was a pretty big leap, because you can still tell Alexa to do stuff and she gets it wrong, or Siri or any of the other ones. They still get most of it right, but they still make mistakes.
Is that considered a big leap in technology if something doesn't work, though? Because imagine if somebody said, like, hey, I've invented the camera. It takes photographs, but it didn't actually work and don't take any photographs. Is that still considered a scientific breakthrough?
In America.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still get on the front of Time magazine with that, because as we know...
Invention of the year.
Yeah, you don't have to achieve anything to get on the front of Time magazine. So, we discovered that all the stuff we knew about pirates was completely inaccurate. And
what a disappointing one that was. I really thought I knew stuff about pirates until we did that one. And that whole Stump the Shepherd part, that one really threw me. I'm still a little disappointed about the parrots thing.
Because don't come with parrots.
Yeah, that's horrible.
Yeah.
That's another thing that the Halloween machine has changed our perception.
No walking the plank.
No, I know. But Shiver Me Timbers is there.
Yeah,
we never did figure out which one was the better horrible restaurant, Long John Silver's or Captain D's. Captain D's, they're hard to find. I know where one is down south here, but it's a ways away, and I don't know if it survived the age of COVID or not. I think it's worth the drive down there.
It's to eat right some crap seafood.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, yeah, because I remember going into Captain D's whenever I was a kid, and when you went in there, you got the little paper pirate hat that you got to wear while you're eating. That was worth the trip.
And Just a reminder, Captain D's, we are available to sponsor.
We will take French fries and hush puppies.
Because I'm sure you've been turned down so many times, you're finding it tough to.
And we will
find
talk
somebody
about.
To take you on. We will take you on.
Yeah, we will talk about all 3 of your remaining restaurants that I'm guessing that you have. I mean, what harm could it do? It's not like we're going to hurt you any worse.
But yes, I mean, we've recorded now, I think, including ones which haven't been released, like maybe about 43, 44 podcasts.
Yeah, we're up
just
in the
over
40s.
3 months.
Yeah, we're up in the 40s.
Yeah.
And we didn't know past the pilot if we were even going to do it. Let's be honest. I mean, we recorded a few and then like scratching our heads and then did a few more and kind of caught our groove and did a few more and did some interviews and like you said earlier, turned the microphones the correct way around and kind of got us a little better. We've improved, I would think.
We've become more prolific in output.
Either that or we just still phone it in.
Yeah.
Do we phone it in?
Actually, the pilot convinced me that I didn't want to do the podcast, but you kept promising me that one day we will get a beer sponsor, and lo and behold,
hey,
we got a beer sponsor.
I don't make promises that I can't keep. So we did finally get a beer sponsor.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't have. I mean, we know that 40 podcasts. I mean, there's obviously some gems in there which we haven't mentioned, like the one on gay Asian disco.
Oh yeah,
yeah, the new
that music
genre
still hasn't hit yet.
Yeah,
that was one I think was going to be on our list that we were going to create that on Spotify or something like that, and we just still haven't got around to that.
Well, I told you I've been compiling tracks with that little music maker thing on my phone.
Yeah,
and I'm going to release it under the title of Now That's What I Call Gaysian Volume 1 sometime in the new year.
Okay.
It'll be available on iTunes.
Yeah, we'll look forward to that.
Download.
What if that would be the album that unseats Taylor Swift?
Well, music's so terrible now, I think it would.
Yeah, fair enough.
Mind you, I did actually learn that she once accidentally released a track which was just complete silence. They've recorded in the studio. I don't know why they did it, whether they were testing background noises or whatever, but she actually released on iTunes, I think, a track which was 100% silence, and her fans are so kind of blinded that they bought it and it got to the top of the iTunes charts. Imagine paying $1.29 for a track of silence.
Yeah. Well, I don't know, depending on who lives in your house, maybe that track of silence might be nice.
Right. Well, actually, I've got...
It's cheaper than noise-canceling headphones.
I've got some exclusive bootleg versions of that Song of Silence, some alternate versions and some remixes. So if people want to send me some money, I'll send you the remix of that completely silent track.
There you go.
Yeah, that's a
smart.
pretty good one. Yeah. So the gay Asian disco one, I think that's going to get a revisit next year when the musical genre becomes popular and we have to remind people that we were the people who invented it.
Yes, I think we're going to have to do that.
Yeah.
We'll make a note of that.
Yeah, and actually the Christmas episode we did not so long ago.
Yeah.
Christmas
was just last week.
That was the only episode we've ever had to re-record, and we had to re-record it because we got so excited about doing it because we've been looking forward to recording the Christmas one because that was something else we thought we might know something about that we actually forgot to mention half the stuff we were going to put in.
Right.
So that I'm still not sure whether the second version is better than the first version, to be honest with you.
Yeah, and we know we can't edit them together because we don't know how to edit.
Yeah. So I think it started off with a little bit of history about Christmas and ended up about me saying how much I like to miss Santa Claus.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it did kind of traipse down to there.
Yeah.
Like quite quickly. And we did have a concern about that, but then we thought, we can't edit it out. We don't know how to edit, so. I might have the COVID. I'm coughing a little bit. But hey, for our new listeners, hopefully that gets you caught up to date. Once again, want to wish everybody a happy new year. Here we are, 2021, looking forward to hopefully a better year than 2020 provided. And we're still going to plug away and create some podcasts and talk about stuff that hopefully you enjoy hearing about and listening to and share with your friends. And hopefully by this time in 2022, who knows?
Oh, actually, one last thing.
Oh, one last thing.
With
this is our new segment we call One Last Thing with the Wolf.
Which may be a one-time thing.
Probably.
I saw the other day online, can't be more specific than that some guy who lives in New York was saying with there being no Times Square thing this year, and as he was getting older, he was going to Times Square by himself and watch his balls drop.
That makes sense. Well, thanks for tuning into this episode of The Wolf and the Shepherd. We certainly appreciate all the support, and we'll catch you in this new year on the next one.